In a world where local musicians and artists are unrated, underappreciated, unnoticed, battered, abused, and swept under the rug.
Living show to show without secure benefits like medieval jesters.
Run with the kittens.
You're actually listening to it right now. I played a song for my hamster that just died.
Like, absolutely.
I lied.
Underplayed and underpaid.
Real local music.
Use what you have.
All the canned rock stuff. And the can't rock stuff, too.
Chuck Wood around.
We won't get into that.
That was a good thing.
Mondays at 6 p.m.
Local special to me, really cool, amazing, incredible. Like, I need to rise up to this level.
Phenomenal.
Definitely incredible.
Probably the coolest.
Strong. You're a people-aholic.
Oh.
Why are you killing me?
I'll try not to swear.
CFRU 93.3.
Wow, the food was
Delicious.
had a smorgasbord of awesomeness.
It's not your regular breakfast sausage.
I also ate some cocktail wieners and drank some melon liqueur one morning very early on the tour bus.
Underplayed and Underpaid is on the radio waves. This is 93.3 CFRU. I'm Bryan McNeill, and Braden might be with us again next week, but busy guy with school. As have I been, and I'm really tired, but man, do I got a crazy show for you today. I was lucky and fortunate enough to get together with the one and only Mo Kauffey. Mo's been around a long time. He's known a lot of great musicians in the States. He's known a lot of... he's played and shared a stage with great players like John Mayall, Eric Burden from The Animals, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to check out Mo Kauffey before I get into him, check out mokauffey.com. That's MOKAUFFEY.com. And you get to check out all kinds of stuff. There's lots of promotional posters from the past, his upcoming shows, etc. All right. I also want to say, if you know anybody or if you are in a band and you'd like to get some free promotion, get a hold of me. It's bryancfru@gmail.com. I'll be happy to come out and promote you for free. We'd like to promote local talent. And if you're in town, going to be in town, or what have you, please check it out. I should probably just jump right into Mo Kauffey. He'll tell you about himself, and so let me just get my track listing in order here. All right, so first off, we're going to start with a rendition that he did back in 1985. The album is called Cosmic Radiators, and the song is called Love Potion Number 9. Here's Mo Kauffey.
I took my troubles down to man. You know that gypsy with the strange tattoo. She's got a shop down at 3455. 7 little bottles of love potion number 9. I told her that I was a pop with cheeks. I've been that way since 1966. She moved up the palm and she made a man. It's the 2 eggs up on a whiskey toast and home fries on the side. Wash down that roadhouse coffee, burn up the old inside. Just a canyon, a Colorado diner, and a waitress I did love. Sat in the back with an old stuffed bear on a big old Navajo rug. Aye, 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 Katie, shades of red and blue. Aye, 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 Katie, whatever became of a Navajo rug and you. Well, old Jack the boss, he left at 6 and Katie barred the door. She'd take down that Navajo rug and throw it on the floor. I saw a lightning frame, the sacred mountains, heard the wooing of a turtle dove. Just lying next to her on that old Navajo rug. Aye, 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 Katie, shades of red and blue. Aye, 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 Katie, whatever became of a Navajo rug and you. I saw Jack about a year ago. He said the place burned to the ground. All he got was an old bare tooth. Katie, she left town. Oh, but Katie got a souvenir too. Jack smiled as he spit out a plug. He said, you should have seen her coming through the smoke, dragging that Navajo rug. Aye, 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 Katie, shades of red and blue. Aye, 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 Katie, whatever became of a Navajo rug and you. Those sacred mountains, lightning flash above, always takes me back in time to my lost Katie love. Oh, but everything keep on changing. Well, everybody's on the go. Don't find things last no more, like a handful of Navajo. Aye, 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 Katie, shades of red and blue. Aye, 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 Katie, whatever became of a Navajo rug and you. Katie, shades of red and blue. Aye, 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 Katie, whatever became of a Navajo rug and
This is Bryan McNeill for 93.3 CFRU, University of Guelph Campus and Community Radio. The show is Underplayed and Underpaid, and I'm lucky enough to spend some time sitting here with Mo Kauffey. Mo, how you doing today?
Good, Brian.
Right on. And can you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am living here in Guelph for about 10 years now. Born and raised in Colorado,
Oh, wow.
and I'm been accused of being a musician.
I've only heard good things about your music.
All right.
So, from Colorado, I did not know that. How is Guelph treating you, and what brought you here, if that's all right for me to ask?
Well, there's this gal, you see.
Ah.
Yes, and Guelph's been good. I really like it here. I feel lucky to be here. I guess I was supposed to land here because
You're here.
It feels like home now. Yeah.
That's terrific. So, in Guelph, CFRU, where the show is being played, you have a show. Can you tell the listeners about the wacky world of Waldo Fortunes?
Yeah, it's on Monday nights from 8 to 9, and it's roots and blues based, and with throw a little bit of wacky in there once in a while, and just have a lot of fun with it. Try to I'm somewhat new at it. I've been doing it for about 4 months now, but I think it's getting better, having more fun with it, and myself and Jason Fritsch trade off weeks, being Waldo, and it's been a lot of fun.
That's great. So, you're a great guitar player. Can you share with the listeners possibly where you learned guitar or who influenced you back in the day or even later on?
Yeah, well, I learned as a young man, a teenager, late teenager, and when I was 16, 17 years old, that was during, I think, the one of the greatest music times ever. You know, there was right after the Beatles came out. I mean, we had the Rolling Stones, Creedence, Frank Zappa, you know, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jefferson Airplane. It was just a ton of good music. Now, also Neil Young was starting out at that time, and Cat Stevens was around, and I never took formal lessons. We used to. There was a group of us group of friends, and basically we'd get together at least once a week and sit around and trade songs and play guitars and all sing. And
Oh, wow.
I did that for a lot of years. That's all I cared to do with my music, was just get together with my friends and play our songs.
Right on. Well, you've gone a long way with it, and that's really cool to hear about the greats of the better eras of music, much better than our current era, in my opinion. So yeah, on your website, which is www.mokauffey.ca?
.com.
Okay.
Yep.
I suggest you check it out. There's tour dates, and is there archived music there also?
There's some samples on there, and Mo Kauffey is like the drink but spelt different. It's Kauffey, and there's no E in Mo.
Right.
So I've got stuff on YouTube, and I still have stuff up on MySpace, and I've been putting music out on the web for 11 years now or something, 10 years anyway. So I've got stuff out there. There was a site called SoundClick and BroadJam. I've still got all kinds of stuff scattered around on the web.
Right on. I noticed by looking on your website, some of the names that you performed with, Eric Burden being one of them, but more importantly, John Mayall. Can you tell a little bit about John Mayall and the history with the Yardbirds and from back then until now.
Yeah, well, John Mayall was one of the early English blues guys that, the Americans sent blues over to England, and they took it in and sent it back, and then some of the young white guys got it, definitely to a larger audience. And John Mayall was one of the front runners of that, along with Long John Baldry was around at that time too. But John Mayall, it started out John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, and the Yardbirds came out of him. Mick Fleetwood and John McVie, which is Fleetwood Mac, came out of there. Mick Taylor played with him, who's the only guy to quit the Rolling Stones and live. Coco Montoya came out of John Mayall, and one of the last guys was with him for a lot of years. And when we opened a show for him in Colorado Springs, I just blanked on his name. Buddy Whittington was playing guitar. He was a great Texas blues guitar player. Anyway, there was also Mark Almond came out of John Mayall and John Mayall's bands, who their one hit kind of thing was that I don't want to know if I could do the city. I don't know if you remember that.
I'll have to look it up. I intend to.
Yeah. Anyway, it was that came out on the Turning Point album, which was around 1970, and he put together an album without drums to show people that the instruments create the rhythms, and you really don't need the drums. And it was Stephen Collins, I believe was his name, on bass. Johnny Mark on acoustic fingerstyle guitar. I'm listening back to the introduction on the record. Nylon string guitar. Johnny Almond on woodwinds and saxophone, and then John Mayall plays guitar and harp and keyboards and writes all this stuff. And that was one of the albums that really caught my ear. And then when I kind of started really my first band kind of thing, which was about 1976, we formed a band without drums.
Oh, wow.
And so anyway, and then on to, I don't remember when exactly, 2003 or something maybe. Anyway, we had a chance to open for John Mayall, and I put together a trio with myself and a great six-string bass player, Jack Daniels, and Steve Hoke on as the instrumentalist, playing his instrument that he made, which he calls the Trimeister, and it's a double neck electric, the six-string guitar, electric mandolin, and then he has six-string electric stick fiddle.
What?
Off of that, and he's just a nut on these things, and playing with wah-wah and playing slide with the blues on the mandolin, and it's quite one of my more favorite guitar players around. And anyway, so as I opened the show, I told the people that what an honor it was to open for John Mayall, and told them about the Turning Point album if they weren't aware of that history. And I said that was the reason that I was able to have the band that I did have tonight, was because 25 years ago or whatever, John Mayall had put out this album that
Didn't have
showed me that you didn't need drums.
Wow.
And and I still do that a lot. The drums is one of the last instruments, or let's say the fourth instrument that I will add putting together a band.
Wow, that's very interesting.
And I didn't get to talk to John too much that night, but people were telling me that he was really checking us out.
Yeah.
But he was very much into trying to sell his CDs and his DVDs and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he put on a great show.
That's terrific.
So,
off of that, I guess that kind of answers. But your inspirations or idols, along with John Mayall and the drumless band from many years ago. Who else would you say is a big inspiration? Who basically inspired you to even pick up a guitar?
Boy, I don't even remember. I started out with acoustic, and I was acoustic for many years. I know when I first got on electric, people thought the end of the world was coming. Or something to that effect. But so I always was more into the acoustic based music. Again, you know, I listened to Hendrix and Jefferson Airplane and all this, you know, all this stuff that was around then, Iron Butterfly and Zappa and stuff. But the songs that I would try to learn to play would be ones that would lend themselves to an acoustic version. And Steve Stills was one of my early mind-blowing guitar players. I loved the way Steve Stills played. Probably my biggest influence was a friend of mine in Pueblo, Colorado, and his name was Larry Dennis, and he had been a folk singer in the folk revival era and stuff. And when I'd met him, he was just playing for his own and friends' enjoyment at that time. But he was a very interpretive player, and he would do songs that you'd heard before, but they wouldn't sound anything like the original version, you know. And he had a bunch of songs too that never heard before or since. But yeah, he was a very syncopated player, and like I say, he wasn't trying to sound like anybody else. And I think he was probably my biggest influence in my stylings that I have today. So it's somebody that nobody except a few people around Pueblo, Colorado know.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So
wow, that's terrific. I'll see if I can try and find him on the internets too.
Yeah, you know, that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting. I don't know if there's anything out there on him or not. He may be just one of those underknown and underplayed, you know. But he was an amazing player, and he also everything came from deep within his soul. Mm-hmm. You know, so there we go. That's terrific. That's what got me going on it, really.
That's awesome. So at this point, what kind of advice could you give to younger artists or up-and-coming artists in general about the entire music industry, or even just performing at gigs?
Well, it's a tough thing, you know. You gotta do it because you love it. You can't. If you do it to make money, it's probably not going to happen. Well, let's see. How would I say this? You got to do it because you love it. That's my opinion on it. Now, there's people that work at, writing hit songs. Well, I'm going to go write a hit song. Well, yeah, you can work at that, and there's plenty of stories of people that have been doing this all their life, and so, well, my advice would be to pursue music. Music's a great thing. It's magic, I think. I would say do it if you love it. Do it for the love of it. Don't do it for the money. The love of it will be easier to guarantee rather than the money.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not saying there's people that make money at it, but if you do it just for the money, then it's just a job. If you're wanting to, if you're just starting out, I would suggest open mics are a great place to get up and try your stuff, and they're usually a great social networking thing where you meet people, you learn things, plus, like I said, just get some time under your belt on the stage.
Mm-hmm. So, Mo Kauffey, do you watch any sports?
No, I don't. That's
good.
easy, yeah.
Yeah, not everybody has to. So,
I used to enjoy playing sports, but I don't watch sports at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Although, no, every once in a while, a hockey game will come on.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very graceful sport. I can kind of watch it for a while. I mean, anyway. So yeah, I don't watch sports.
It's great. More time to practice, right?
Yeah.
What was the last book you read? Or what's the latest book that you're reading?
I'm reading a book on the life of Will Rogers right now, and very interesting. What an amazing guy he was. Are you familiar with Will Rogers?
I've heard his name. I'll have to go home and Google it.
He was a he was a cowboy. He was a humorist. He was a social commentator, and he was one of the most loved American personalities ever. And he could make fun of anybody, and they would take it. He never got into any trouble for speaking his mind. And very simple wisdom, but very deep.
Wow, that's great.
So,
I'll have to check that out.
He said things like, the quickest way to double your money was fold it in half and put it back in your pocket. And never miss a good chance to shut up. But yeah,
Well put.
yeah. So
how much by percentage of the book do you have left? And it's obviously a good book.
yeah, I barely got into it. I really don't read a whole lot. I usually read before I go to sleep, and I'll get through a page or two, and so it takes me months and months to get through a book generally.
I actually do the same thing, and I find that I have to reread the last page anyway because I was falling asleep, so I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me in books. But do you have a favorite restaurant in town, and also, do you have a favorite restaurant in your hometown back in Colorado?
Oh, yes, I do. I've got, the Woolwich Arms is one of my favorites here in town, and the Cafe Insomnia is a recent discovery of mine that's very, very good Italian.
Up in the South End.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
So
That's terrific. If you could have dinner with anyone, alive or dead, who would it be and why? You can take your time.
Oh boy, huh?
I can cut all this up. So.
Yeah. God, that's, how do you pick? On Monday, I wouldn't mind having dinner with. I don't. God, I don't know. I don't know. Right now, I would say, John Lennon would be interesting to have dinner with.
Mm-hmm.
John Lennon. There we go.
There you go. All right, so wrapping up with the final question. This is November, and I have a mustache. And Mo's got a beard, but is Mo from Movember?
I'm from Movember all year round, yeah.
That's terrific. All right, well, thank you so very much, Mr. Mo Kauffey.
Thank you, Brian.
For the opportunity to come to your humble home and do this interview. It was a great time. I had a lot of fun. And, I hope that you get to tune in before your show on Monday on Underplayed and Underpaid. I'm Bryan McNeill for 93.3 CFRU, University of Guelph Community and Campus Radio with Mo Kauffey.
And this is Mo Kauffey.
All right.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Where we lived on this land since time began, taking what we needed, that was the plan. Always left some for another day, we didn't think about it, that was the way. Generations came and went, the land was good, it was never spent. Gave us what we needed for food and health. We had no money, we just had wealth. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Land came another tribe. They were filling our heads with a gold-toothed pride. Smiling faces, we were told they'd take our wealth, but they give us gold. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Well, what are you gonna do? The trees were the first to go. They plowed our land into rows. Tractors traded for our plows, brought us seed to sow. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Well, what are you gonna do? Several years, then the land dried up and blew away from here. Gold-tooth tribe disappeared, leaving us a sky with no tears. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Well, what are you gonna do? here. You got to jump, jump there. You got to jump, jump, jump. Jump everywhere. You mellow down easy. You got to mellow down easy. Mellow down easy when you really wanna blow your top. Mellow down easy when you really wanna blow your top. Shake, shake here. Shake, shake there. Got to shake, shake, shake. Shake it everywhere. Mellow down easy. Mellow down easy. Mellow down easy when you really wanna blow your top. Mellow down easy when you really wanna blow your top. Wiggle here, wiggle, wiggle there. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle everywhere. Mellow down easy. Mellow down easy. Mellow down easy when you really wanna blow your top. Mellow down easy when you really wanna blow your top. Jump, jump here. I got to jump, jump there. Jump, jump, jump. Jump everywhere. Then you mellow down easy. Mellow down easy. Well, you mellow down easy when you really wanna blow your top.
So, Mo Kauffey on 93.3. The first song that he played there was a rendition of Love Potion No. 9. And the second song that we played before the interview was Navajo Rug. It was a rendition of Ian Tyson, Tom Russell song. After the interview, we played Dig It from Mo Kauffey's album Dig It. And right after that, we played Mellow Down, which is a rendition of a Willie Dixon song. And that's also off the Dig It album. I want to say thanks again for Mo Kauffey letting me come and do the interview. And right about now, I'm going to play a couple PSAs, a couple commercials, let the sponsors have their time. And then I'll come back, tell you a little bit about what's going on downtown in Guelph this week. And then I'll come back and play some more Mo Kauffey for you. I'll bring some Mo Kauffey. And all right, so here we go. All right. Thank you for the sponsors. Thank you for the promotion, et cetera, et cetera. So, this week we're lucky enough to have musiclives.ca coming into the studio, and I can... Hello, Nava. And I can give you guys a little bit of a lowdown what's going on. Tonight, of course, every Monday, Paul McLeod at the Jimmy Jazz. 2 sets with local musician Paul McLeod, $2 drinks before midnight. And, so 2 for 2. 2 sets, $2 drinks. And tomorrow night, Derek Hines at the Van Gogh live jazz quartet featuring a young gentleman that Mo Kauffey actually has performed and possibly done some recording with. He's Derek Chapman's son. So it was Mo Kauffey and the Chapmans. And you can actually, I believe, find that on mokauffey.com. That's MOKAUFFEY.com. And that's Tuesday night, live jazz quartet. November 17th, Wax Mannequin. Fortnite presents Hamilton Band, Wax Mannequin, and B.A. Johnson with support from Guelph's Hoodie Good. All ages, licensed, 9:30 p.m., $8. Sponsored in part by Wellington Brewery at the E-Bar. Moving on, we got Night Owl presents Toronto band Graydon James and the Young Novelists with special guests among Million, who I interviewed a few months ago. Cool little interview. The lead singer used to be the lead singer of the band Wakeless from Toronto, and also Winnipeg band The Consumer Goods, 19 plus, 10 p.m. Free show at the Jimmy Jazz on November 17th. Moving on, Charlotte Cornfield. Toronto native Charlotte Cornfield is touring in support of her latest release, 2 Horses. Also performing will be special guest Ben Kaplan and Guelph musician Alana Gurr. 7:30 p.m., $10 at the door. That's on November 20th, 2011 at Van Gogh. Moving on, Kazoo number 126 presents Bruce Peninsula with Toronto-based and Guelph first-timers Muskox. All ages, licensed. 9:30 p.m., $10 at the door. That's at the E-Bar on the 23rd of November. On November 18th, the Dunfors. Toronto band, the Dunfors, and also the Elwins from Newmarket and Guelph's own Pure Joy. It's a 19-plus event, 10 p.m. Free show at the Jimmy Jazz. Gotta love free shows at the Jimmy Jazz. And this one's kind of special. November 13th, Cuff the Duke. Fortnite presents Guelph band Cuff the Duke with special guests Toronto band Hooded Fang. All ages, licensed, 9 p.m., $12. Tickets available at Ticket Pro or at The Cornerstone. And that's playing at the E-Bar. Sponsored in part by the fine folks at Wellington Brewery. So there's a little bit of a rundown of what's going on musiclives.ca. I highly recommend you check it out every day or every week. And something you might really enjoy, especially if you're an artist, is the blog that Aaron Dale does. They're doing good things at musiclives.ca, and I'm only happy to let you guys know to go there and check out what's going on downtown Guelph. You can't really get that kind of information on any other website. There used to be a guelphnightlife.ca, but it was dead for months. So maybe it's back up and running now that the students are back, but I still go to musiclives.ca for my guaranteed information. Okay, I'm going to get back to Mo Kauffey. And this song here is called I Just Sing, off the album What You Gonna Do, put out some time back. And let's get into it on 93.3.
Said I might be out watching the sunrise sitting on a cliff, watching the birds fly, but sometimes I'm so happy I sing. Said I might be home just sitting with my lady or taking a walk where it's so nice and shady. Sometimes I'm so happy I sing anything that comes to mind, something that I hope will rhyme. You know, sometimes I'm so happy I just sing. Said I might be out just riding in my car, sitting at home and playing my guitar, but sometimes I'm happy and I sing. I might be home sitting and thinking, out with my old friends, a hooting and a drinking, but sometimes I'm happy and then I sing. I sing. Oh, sometimes I'm just so darn happy and I sing do-wah. I sing as everybody sings. You can sing darn anything long as you sing. I said I might be out watching the sunrise, sitting on a cliff, watching the birds fly, but sometimes I'm happy and I sing. I just sing anything that comes to mind, something that I hope will rhyme with. Sometimes I'm so happy I sing. I say sometimes I'm so happy I sing. You know, sometimes I'm happy I sing. Sometimes when I pick up my guitar, strumming strings that don't sound sweet like they used to when we played our love song. I hum the melodies, I remember the words. Words don't fit nicely like they used to when we sang our love song. Faded love, those words they taught me. Faded love, how that melody haunts me. Sit alone almost every night, singing my blues, they're my love songs. I'm singing them for you. Faded love, those words they taught me. Faded love, how that melody haunts me. I woke up the other day, I realized you'd gone away. Honey, let me tell you, since you've been gone, telephone don't ring, but that don't mean anything, 'cause I'm living my life again. Just because I'm feeling pain, that don't mean I wanna see you again. Because I'm feeling blue, that don't mean I'm missing you. Seems like years since you've been gone, but that suits me fine, honey, could be twice as long. Because now that we've parted, I can't get started just to live my life again. Because I'm feeling pain, it don't mean I wanna see you again. Just because I'm feeling blue, it don't mean I'm missing you. Oh, watch me
Well, that's about all time that I got today. So I'm going to throw on the last PSA. Thanks to Mo Kauffey. Listen into his show, which starts at, I believe, 8 p.m. And the last three songs there were called I Just Sing, 16 Tons, and Missing You. Stay tuned for Nava on 93.3 CFRU.